Now, in an age of social media, selfies and reality TV, how we look often feels like it's being scrutinised more than ever. Now the issue of body image is being raised by the Church of England.
The Bishop of Gloucester has launched a campaign called LIEDENTITY in the hope of challenging our obsession with image. It's a response to a recent report by the Children's Society, which found a third of girls are unhappy with the way that they look.
Well, the Right Reverend Rachel Treweek is with us. Morning to you. I know you've been chatting to some of you young people about the pressures, and we can see what they told you.
You have to be perfect. You have to have like a curve, so they're supposed to be able to be really thin.
Right.
You have to be an amazing person.
The media gives us the message that we do need to change, and that even though everyone is different, we all need to be perfect.
If you say that you like the way you look, you instantly become vain.
Yeah.
But then if you say you don't like the way you look, then you try and...
I always feel judged at school, even if you're like proud of something like at school. Like if you do a good piece of work and you're like proud, like yeah I did that. There's always someone that's like, oh yeah, you're such a nerd or whatever.
I feel like on social media, girls especially, they're more comfortable complimenting each other.
On social media,
So
so you do it
like,
on...
say like I changed my profile picture or someone and something, and someone liked it,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, oh, you look really good, but not necessarily in real life they do that.
Well, the Right Reverend Rachel Treweek, who was talking to those young women and men there, is here. So were you worried by what you heard from them?
I was. They were really confirming what's come out in the reports you were talking about. Not one of the girls was happy with the way that they appeared. And they were talking a lot about the pressures on them that they feel to take all their worth from their physical appearance. That was true for the boys as well, but particularly for the girls on social media.
And what you've done is you've produced some pictures, and you've taken out the body part. Suppose what you can do when you badly Photoshop something, you've taken out the body part, which they said was the bit about themselves they liked the least.
Each young person was asked, if you wanted to change a part of your body, what would it be? And then that part's been removed from the photo, really to get over the message that who we are actually begins on the inside and not on the outside, and that a lot of the emptiness they were feeling, which is shown in these photos, actually was about their appearance. And I want people to love the whole of themselves, because I believe that we're created in the image of God and that our value and worth starts within us and not on the outside of us.
Why do you think this is the first time that the church has sort of got involved in this debate? Why has it taken such a long time? Because it's an important issue for so many people growing up.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that the church has spoken about, people within the church have been speaking about it. I think what I've been able to do as a bishop is to turn up the volume. Because, as I just said, as a church, we believe that people are made in the image of God, and I want people to know that they are loved and known and valued. And it's really important that as a church we're listening to the concerns of young people.
The thing that strikes me seeing the pictures is that, wasn't it always like this when you were growing up? Did you not, isn't it entirely, haven't people always worried about the way they looked?
I think that's true. This is not a new message, in the same way that lots of things in the world are not new messages. What I would say is I think the world of social media, the pressures on young people is different. I was a teenager who was very self-conscious about my body, but I didn't have all the pressures of social media upon me. And what I want to do is encourage these young people to begin changing the messages that they feel they're receiving from the world around them.
Do you think it's harder for young girls? I know you spoke to some young men as well, and there were some pictures featuring lads as well, but is it particularly difficult for girls?
I think it's particularly difficult for girls, and the girls that I met with spoke about the fact that practically everything that they do, see and hear on social media is about appearance, where the boys said that was different for them on social media. But the boys were also wanting to say, actually, the pressure on us to look a certain way is important. It's also true for people with disability, that all the time we're judging people and assessing people on their appearance. And I do think it has got worse.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when you were talking to them, they talked about people saying things. So is some of it about language, about how people talk about each other as well on social media?
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that we're trying to do and one of the conversations I was having with those young people was how they could change the messages themselves that they have on social media. And we moved to a place where they were able to give each other comments and compliments about attributes about each other that were not about physical appearance. They found it hard to begin with, but were then able to say, I really value you as a good friend. I really value the fact that you make me laugh when I feel down. And they really got into that, and I think saw that shift, that there are messages we can give one another which are about our worth that begins on the inside and not on the outside.
If you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say it. There you go.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.